What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dr. Professor, Dark Joker, with another edition of Where, Pick, and Dare, where I pick games for the various games that are occurring tomorrow. Whether it's football, baseball, basketball, basically whatever games I want to pick, I will pick them. With all that being said, on with the video. NBA. Minnesota Timberwolves versus San Antonio Spurs, Game 5. This is part of the second round of the NBA playoffs. Um, let's see. The series is tied 2-2. So the Wolves have a 23.3% chance to win. The Spurs have a 76.7% chance to win. This game is at San Antonio. For the injuries, for the Wolves, DiVincenzo is out, and for the Spurs, so Jones Garcia is out. Now there is a possibility that Wembanyama could be suspended based on the elbow. You know, I guess it depends on like when they make that decision. Like if that decision actually gets made, like because if they don't make that decision and he ends up playing, then that will really help the Wolves. Oh, it help the Spurs like in this. Now if he's out, that really helps the Wolves because he is a very good player. Like he is a very good player. Like if he plays, the Spurs are going to be heavily benefit. If he doesn't play, the Wolves are going to heavily benefit. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, so for stats, the Spurs have more points per game. Field goal percentages even. Spurs have more rebounds per game, assists per game. Wolves have more blocks per game and steals per game. These stats are pretty close. So, yeah, I mean, right now, Wembanyama is still, in line to play. Like, I don't know if they would announce like a suspension, like this close to it. I mean, I do think that something would almost already be announced by now. Like, and like because I mean, if he's if he's not like, I don't think they'll suspend. I personally don't think they'll suspend him for like because I think they would have already announced it by now. So taking that to account, I think the Spurs will beat the Timberwolves tomorrow to go up 3-2 in the series. MLB. Chicago Cubs versus Atlanta Braves. The Cubs have a 37.4% chance to win. The Braves have a 62.6% chance to win. This game is at Atlanta. For starting pitchers, for the Cubs, Colin Ree has a career ERA of 4.39, WHIP of 1.27. And for the Braves, Grant Holmes has a career ERA of 3.92, WHIP of 1.29. So that's good pitching for Holmes, not really good pitching for Reese, so it's a definite starting pitching advantage for the Braves. For injuries, for the Cubs, Jeff Brigham and Jackson Wiggins are on 7-day IL. Jordan Wicks, Caleb Thielbar, and Matthew Boyd are on 15-day IL. For the Braves, Sean Murphy's day-to-day. Dylan Dodds on 15-day IL. Ronald Acuna Jr. is on 10-day IL. And Blake Burkhalter and Eli White are on 7-day IL. For stats, of the Braves have a higher batting average, have more runs, hits, home runs. Um, Cubs have a higher on base percentage. Braves have a higher slugging percentage. Cubs have a higher ERA, more walks plus hits per innings pitched. Braves have more walks, strikeouts. Um, Cubs have a higher opponent batting average. So yeah, I mean, a lot of these. So for each stat, some of the pitching stats, the ones that you see like a difference with, like a good size difference, they seem to offset. And so pitching's overall is pretty close between the two teams. For batting, Braves having 32 more hits and 13 more runs. That's definitely interesting. That could, you know, that could heavily affect things. And with that, the starting pitching advantage and the home field advantage, I think the Braves will beat the Cubs tomorrow. San Diego Padres versus Milwaukee Brewers. The Padres have a 32.2% chance to win. The Brewers have a 67.8% chance to win. This game is at Milwaukee. For starting pitchers, for the Padres, Matt Waldron has a career ERA of 5.11, WHIP of 1.31. And for the Brewers, Brandon Sprout has a career ERA of 5.44, WHIP of 1.4. So that's terrible pitching for both starting pitchers. So it's not really significant difference here. So for injuries, for the Padres, Jake Cronenworth, Blake Hunt are on 7-day IL. German Marquez is on 15-day IL. Jahoni Brito is on 60-day IL, and Luis Campusano is on 10-day IL for the Brewers. JV Pakauskas is on 7-day IL. Brandon Woodruff's on 15-day IL. Kristen Yelich and Brandon Lockridge are on 10-day IL, and Rob Zastrizny is on 60-day IL. For stats, the Brewers have a higher batting average, more runs, hits. Padres have more home runs. Brewers have a higher on base percentage. Padres have a higher slugging percentage. ERA. Brewers have more walks plus hits per innings pitched. More walks, strikeouts. Um, Padres have a higher opponent batting average. So with these stats, for pitching, a lot of the stats where there is a decent sized difference, they offset. And for hitting, with the runs and hits, with Brewers having 13 more hits, um, 25 more runs. Now, you have that, and then the Padres have 13 more home runs. So it looks like something's offset a little bit, you know. But it looks like overall in batting, it's like in offense, it's a more of an advance for the Brewers. So that will help, and that with that in the home field advantage, I think the Brewers will beat the Padres tomorrow. St. Louis Cardinals versus Athletics. The Cards have a 44.7% chance to win. The A's have a 55.3% chance to win. This game is uh, at Sacramento. For the for starting pitchers, for the Cards, Andre Palante has a career ERA of 4.33, WHIP of 1.41. And for the A's, Jeffrey Springs has a career ERA of 3.66, WHIP of 1.23. So that's a good pitching for Springs, not really good pitching for Palante, so it's definite starting pitching advantage for the A's. For injuries, for the Cards, Matt Pushard's on 15-day IL, Ramon Urias is on 10-day IL, and Lars Nootbaar, Ikeson Henderson, and Victor Santos is on 60-day IL. For the A's, Jacob Wilson's day-to-day, Mac Muncy and Denzel Clark are on 10-day IL, and Gunnar Hoglund's on 60-day IL. For stats, the A's have a higher batting average. Cards have more runs. A's have more hits. Cards have more home runs. A's have a higher on base percentage, slugging percentage, ERA, walks plus hits, more walks plus hits per innings pitched, more walks, strikeouts. Let's see, opponent batting average is even. So with these stats, the so the Cards have 10 more runs than the A's. And the A's have 25 more hits than the Cards. So some of that offsets a little bit, like with the batting and all that. And for pitching, like the A's having like 23 more walks and 30 more strikeouts, I would say that offsets a little bit. So as far as the stats go, it's relatively even. So with that, I would say then the starting pitching and the home field advantage are going to be the big things here. So I think the Athletics will beat the Cardinals tomorrow. And that's it for picks. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to my picks. Do you agree with them? Do you not? If you have different picks, you can put them in the comments. But other than that, please like, subscribe, and all that. Thank you for listening and look forward to the next video.